Hi, and thank you once again for joining me for the Darren Chatter solo podcast. I am your host, Darren Shank, and I will be reading to you today blog number 254 entitled Adaptability Wins. The photo that I chose for this is a chameleon, which I thought was the perfect metaphor for today's world. So with that, let's get into the blog. Once again, I'm reading these for you so you can listen and not have to read the blog for yourself. I would love to hear your thoughts and comments on this, so please reach out to me whenever you can. Adaptability wins. I can't think of a better way to put it. In a world where we have seen massive sweeping changes that affect everyone on the planet, those who are more adaptable are going to win in the end. I acknowledge the fact that I was fortunate my job was not terribly affected by COVID in any real stretch of the imagination. I do work from home full-time now and do every meeting that I have over Zoom. I no longer travel for business, and I really don't see that going back anywhere near the previous level either. I can see going to a few conferences a year and maybe one or two very large client opportunities for presentations, but that's about it. The business world is now used to digital handshakes instead of the in-person ones. We now get comfortable with one another in an entirely new format, but in a far more cost-effective one for sure. The first month of being at home all day took some getting used to. I was inefficient. I felt like I had all day to do stuff, so I literally would take all day to get things done. I felt out of sorts, as I was quite used to going to the office every single day. I felt alone, not having the implied company of all my coworkers to see every day. I wandered around feeling lost at times. I watched TV when I should have been working. I tried working in the living room instead of my home office. It was a little weird, to say the least. But then I realized what a blessing this actually was. I could start my day earlier or later, depending on what I wanted to get accomplished. I started working out in the early morning, avoiding the hot sun of the summer later in the day. I loved it, and so did my wife. We would go to the park near our house and run the small hills, do sprints on the track, and many other adaptive styles of training. I was in better shape after a month of that than I probably was after a year in the gym. I was still starting my day by 8 a.m., which is perfectly fine. Some days I would start work early and be done by 1 o'clock. Other days I would work on a house project and not start my job until later in the day. Since I have clients all over the country, my timelines for things are pretty flexible in many cases. Slowly, I started to adapt. It didn't happen overnight, but it did happen. I adapted. I rolled with what the world was handing me, and I restructured my lifestyle accordingly. If I had gotten fired or furloughed from my job, I would have found another job. This was similar. The circumstances had changed, and I just needed to adjust some things in the microcosm of my own world. Now, I love my lifestyle. I can't believe it took a pandemic for me to realize some of the benefits of working from home. I sleep in when I want to, even though it's not very often. I go to the gym on a regular basis, or I train outside, and I spend about an hour a day or more writing and creating content. I break up my workday into two sections of the day, late morning and early afternoons. I can do my day job in about 5 hours, so I do 2.5 hour blocks of time where I schedule nothing else to interrupt that and get everything that I need done. I have not seen any noticeable drop in productivity. In fact, I think I am more productive in this fashion. I used to waste time being at the office, visiting with my coworkers, and going to lunch for an hour a day. Now, I focus and I burn through everything I need to get done in a much shorter time frame. This gives me way more time to do the other things I want to do as well. I am working on the road tomorrow as a family member needs my assistance with something. I would have needed to fill out a vacation request before. Now I just rearrange my schedule and start accordingly. I make the same amount of money. I have far less stress. I'm working less hours. I have more free time and flexibility, and I can work from anywhere I want. It is the life I have been dreaming about. So, will this pandemic last forever? No, of course not. It has a life cycle just like most things do. But it seems clear to me that a couple of things are going to happen. One, the world has learned, not by choice, that remote work is here to stay. Two, I am personally much happier with the current setup versus how things were before. Three, if my boss decides I need to be back in the office 5 days a week, I'm probably updating my resume and looking for another job that would be remote-based. I have adapted to this life now, and I have learned the advantages of it. I do not want to go back to the way things were before. I want to continue to flourish in the way things are. If things change drastically again, I will figure out how to mold and adapt to that new normal. There is no reason to backtrack, only move forward. Not everyone has the same story and the same feelings about this that I do. I don't have kids that are underfoot all day long, so working from home does not include also being a teacher between Zoom meetings. Now, keep in mind that was by choice, and a choice made a long time ago. No kids for me, thanks. I'd like to retire early, and I want to do whatever the hell I want right now. My wife and I are on the same page with this, and it was a discussion that we hashed out on date number 2 to make sure we were both on the same page. The world is changing faster than ever, and if you find yourself in a job or a career that's on its way out, you better start making some changes right now. As great as the gig economy was for people who wanted to drive for Uber or deliver for Instacart, this is probably going away. That lifestyle is similar to the one that I have right now, but my job is not likely to be outsourced to autonomous driving vehicles in the near future. Once that technology takes hold, a lot of those gig economy jobs are going away. This includes cab drivers, truck drivers, local Amazon deliveries, food delivery. All of this, which employs a large swath of our society, is probably going to be gone or greatly reduced in the next 5 years or so. There's also a lot of jobs that have already been lost to automation of one kind or another, and this should come as no shock to anybody. But plenty of people will still be caught off guard when it does. In this case, you need to be proactive, not just adaptable. Regardless of what your personal circumstances are, you will always need to look ahead and prepare for what's coming. When something does catch you by surprise, do your best to adapt and thrive. Many won't, some will, at least enough to get by. But be one of the rare few who finds a way to improve in the new normal, whatever that may hold for all of us. Be the one to adapt. I wish you luck in your endeavors. As always, if there's something I can assist you with, please reach out to me through my website at darrenchatter.com or through my LinkedIn page as well. And while you're here on my YouTube channel, please hit subscribe and share this video or any other with people that you think would benefit from it. Thank you.